It's good to see all of you, and I'm talking this morning on Secrets Revealed. Now, when I went to prepare this talk this morning, I wanted to tell you everything I've learned in my life, and I thought, well, it's a few simple things. I did want to keep you here for 6 hours. So I'm not going to tell you everything I've learned, because I guess I've been here a while and I've learned a little bit. I'm going to tell you some of what I've learned this morning on my life's journey. We live in an interesting world today. We are a product of our times in a large part. And we live in a very interesting time. We live in the midst of astounding, evolving technologies, drones, instant communication, internet shopping, and social media. And I'm reminded of this by a fellow who told me, I've given up social media for the new year, and I'm trying to make friends outside of Facebook while applying the same principles. Every day I walk down the street and tell passersby what I've eaten, how I feel, what I did the night before, and what I will do tomorrow. Then I give them pictures of my family, my dog, and my gardening. I also listen to their conversations and tell them I love them. And it works. I already have 3 people following me. 2 police officers and a psychiatrist. And how about this development? I find that I'd rather spend 10 minutes rearranging the dishwasher to accommodate something than to spend 30 seconds washing it.
Yeah, right.
Well, this morning I've narrowed it down before I get into some generic principles which I think I'm going to hand you. I got to tell you first that I believe in practical spirituality. If I can't use it, it's no good to me. If I can't connect with what I view spirit to be, it means nothing to me. So I am going to offer you some practical tips today. And you can take them or not, but I'm going to offer them to you anyway. First, I want to talk about relationships. And I do this today because relationships are one of the most important things we have. Nobody goes to the grave saying, I wish I'd stayed at the office longer. We talk about our families, our special loved ones, our children, our parents, our siblings, whoever we love are those people who are prominent. So relationships can be tricky also, as evidenced in the case where a police officer jumps into a squad car and calls the station. He says, I have an interesting case here. A woman shot her husband for stepping on the floor she just mopped. Have you arrested her? Asked the sergeant. Not yet. The floor's still wet. Relationships can be tricky. I narrowed it down to just a few tips on attracting good relationships. If you're looking for a special person in your life, I don't know if anyone here is in that situation, but if you are, I would say don't focus on getting a relationship. Focus on yourself. And be that which you wish to attract into your life. I suggest this for anyone anyway. Be that which you wish to attract in your life. If you want people who are not in conflict, don't be in conflict. If you want people who are loving, be loving. If you want people who are kind, be kind, etc., etc., etc. And learn to like yourself. Be your own best friend. If you are your own best friend and feel you have value and really truly like/love yourself, which is a healthy thing to do, by the way, the Bible does tell us to love ourselves as we love our neighbors as we love ourselves. Not instead of, not better than, not less than, but as we love ourselves. And the truth is, we really can't love anyone any more than we love ourselves anyway. So we should like ourselves and be our best friends. And when we are, we will find people flock to us and are drawn to us without saying a word. It's a wonderful thing. Good relationships involve communication, communication, communication. Communicate with your loved ones. Communicate in a way that doesn't make them wrong, but yet clearly states what you want to state. You don't have to make people wrong to do that. Phrases like, in my opinion, not condemning them, but just, I feel that, and taking responsibility for yourself is a good way to communicate. And conflict. I want to talk about conflict just very briefly. Don't avoid it. Avoiding conflict just lets it grow and makes it bigger. There's a way to deal with conflict when it first looks like it's developing that avoids anything difficult at all. And that is simply to communicate, again. To communicate. Most conflict comes when I feel my needs aren't being met and you feel your needs aren't being met. Sometimes conflict comes because I feel I need to be right and you feel you need to be right. Needing to be right is not. I was one of these people who had to be right for the first half of my life. I no longer have to be right. I find that, before, when I was younger, if somebody made a grammatical mistake, I would correct them. But I don't do that anymore. I don't have to do that. It's okay. It's okay. I don't have to be right. I don't have to show anybody I'm right. I don't have to show anybody I'm intelligent. I don't have to show anybody anything. I just have to be me and let people discover it for themselves. That's what I finally discovered within myself. No, it's a lot less struggle, let me tell you. Okay. In a book called Do I Have to Give Up Me to Be Loved by You, a couple named Jordan and Margaret Paul wrote this. We find such ideas as God is love, the kingdom of heaven lies within, and know thyself, to thine own self be true, contain a universal truth. As we look inward and discover our natural selves, we become more loving human beings and therefore more one with God. Continuing explorations and deepening self-knowledge then give a special compelling purpose to life, achieving harmony with our natural selves. With the God within us, the more we live with love, the more peace flowing and right we feel. When we drop our protections and connect with each other from our natural selves, we experience the spiritual dimension of intimate love. There's no reason to be anybody else. I know when I was growing up, I grew up in South Florida. I'm going to identify South Florida because in South Florida I found a lot of people who were, shall I say, pretentious. And I saw people putting on airs and things like that. As a kid I observed this. And I thought, how difficult it must be to try to be someone else when I'm having so much trouble being me. I think it's hard enough to be me without trying to be somebody else. Anyway, here we go. I am going to give you practical tips that have helped me. Really, I've done this. Identify 5 to 10 values that are the most important to you. Sit down and write them out. I say 5 to 10. You won't have any trouble getting to 10, but keep it to 10 or less because there aren't that many that are that important. Love is important. Peace is important. Ease is important to me, which means lack of struggle. It doesn't mean lack of effort. It means lack of struggle. I don't know. That's the 3 that are the most important. I have others. I have written out about 8 values that are very important to me. Memorize your values and measure everything in your life against that. Decide what you will accept in your life and what you will not accept. I don't accept anyone being nasty with me. Now, what do I do about it if somebody is? I try to love them and move beyond it, and I try to minimize my dealing with them. If I can't minimize my dealing with them, such as in work, and I don't encounter this at work hardly ever, but if I do, then I try to imagine what is propelling their nastiness, if you will, and what try to honor what is making them frustrated, because it's usually not me. And I usually can do that, and then they move away totally from being nasty with me, because now I'm on their team. I understand why you feel frustrated. Maybe I can help you deal with it, that kind of thing. So anyway, in addition, let go of any idea of controlling others or controlling life. We have significant influence over what we attract into our lives and what happens, and certainly how we react or interpret events around us or that happen to us. But we control nothing through our actions. We cannot control anything, and we certainly can't control other people. We influence our lives by our inner beliefs and attitudes that we present to the world. The world will accept and love us as much as we accept and love it. I learned that. I've also learned this. I seriously recommend giving up any need or insistence on being right. I think I said this earlier. Some people are willing to be dead right. Think of suicide bombers. Rather than give it up. It's very freeing. I never thought I could give up the need to be right. I needed to be right all the time. When I was that person, I was obnoxious with it. It was. But I don't need to be right. I need, if there's a difference of opinion, I can listen and learn. I may learn that I don't want to feel that way or I don't agree, but it's okay. I can learn and then I can honor you and let you be you. It's fine. I don't need to be right and I don't need to convince anybody of anything. It's very freeing. Try it. And for God's sake, don't sweat the small stuff. I've learned that. That's a product of age, I think. You get to a point and you go, small stuff just doesn't matter anymore. It really doesn't matter if somebody cuts me off in traffic. John and I have developed a thing, I've talked about this before, of taking the long view. What is it? If this happened, I think this is really serious now, but if I look at it in the realm of my life, if this is the worst thing that ever happens in my life, where does it fall on a scale of 1 to 10? Most things don't make the scale. Some things end up being a 1 or 2 maybe. Few things, short of losing a limb, losing a close loved one would be up there. I mean, there are a few things that would be up there for a time. But in the realm of my whole life, very few things go above a 4 or a 5. Very few get even up that high. So, I recommend you release the innate joy within you. I work on this still. Be joyful. Find the good. Seek it out and revel in it. It's all around us. It is all around us. When I see a news feature, which is usually negative, I look for what's good in it. If there was an accident, who's helping? Who survived? I'm looking for the good in it because there's always good to be seen. We just have eyes that look for what's not good. Get new eyes. Joy. I'll talk more about joy, but joy is so important, to be joyful. That's not just to be content and kind of go along. It means joy is an active thing, it's a deep thing, it's a vibrant thing. To be joyful and go, yes, this is my life, this is a great day. Repeat after me. Yes, this is a great day.
Yes, yes, it's a great day.
Okay. In a book called Passion for Life, Muriel and John.
Don't control us, though.
I'm not controlling you. You have an option of playing out of it. I can't control you. I can't control you. You get to decide. Everything's a choice. You can choose not to be joyful. That's a choice too.
I love the thunder.
Yes.
Good.
Me too.
As long as I'm indoors. My husband has been hit by lightning 4 times.
Oh, you should play the lotto.
In a book called Passion for Life, Muriel and John James wrote this. Regardless of the inevitable sufferings and disappointment we encounter on the paths we follow, one of the universal energies of the human spirit is the urge to enjoy. Enjoyment is often thought of in terms of comfort, pleasure, and play. yet it is more than that. The urge to enjoy is the desire of the human spirit to experience and express the delight of existence. The delight of existence. I'm delighted. I've returned to where I was as a child. When I was a child, I didn't understand why adults were largely, the ones I saw anyway, largely unhappy. I thought, this is a playground we live in. I thought this as a child. This is a playground. Why don't they get it? It's a playground. We're supposed to have fun here. We're supposed to just be and do and that. I think that now. I've returned to that. I think this is a great place. It is a place of lessons. It is a place of wonder and awe. It's ups and downs, yes, but we can enjoy and we can be joyful in the midst of it. By being joyful, we transmute some of our experience. Try it. You'll see. Here's some more concrete things we can start doing now. Be kind to yourself. Pay yourself compliments. Treat yourself the way you'd like others to treat you. How about that one? I want others to be nice to me. I want others to like me. I want others to pay me compliments. So, why not do it to myself first? Then I don't count on anyone else to do it for me. Practice the golden rule. Treat others the way you'd like to be treated. Respect them as you would like to have them respect you. Respect is the least we can do for other people. To honor them as fellow human beings. Offer acceptance, patience, and understanding to everyone, no matter what. You will be well rewarded if you do. And as I said, don't sweat the small stuff. Be grateful and practice gratitude. There is so much to be grateful for. There is so much to be grateful for. You can keep a gratitude journal. Write down every day 2, 3 things that you're grateful for in that day. You'll be amazed at the end of the year what you've written down and what you have to be grateful for. Be grateful for what you have. Be thankful when you pay your bills. That you have the funds to pay. That the service was provided to you, or the goods, or whatever. Be thankful for whatever channels provide your income. Gratitude simply gets you more of what you're grateful for. Wouldn't we like to have more? Be grateful for all things. The food we eat, the air you breathe, for being able to bathe, for the clothes you wear, for the roof over your head, for the means of transportation you have, and on and on and on. Gratitude is very important. And it's helpful if we express gratitude to others. Thank you for being you. It may take some self-discipline to adjust your attitude if you're not used to doing this, but in truth there's so much to be grateful for no matter what your circumstances may be. No matter what your circumstances may be. Instead of focusing on what there isn't in your life, whatever that may be, focus on what there is. Focus on what you have, on the people who are around you, on the health you do have, on on all things, give thanks. Appreciate, accept, respect, serve, praise, release. These are the components of gratitude. If you give this out, you will receive it in kind. I will repeat it. Appreciate, accept, respect, serve, praise, and release. That's gratitude. If you give it out, you receive it. If it is an irresistible, inexorable law. It always works to draw good to you, to be grateful. Never allow money to pass through your hands without blessing it, by the way. And the last serious tip I have for you is to find spirit Find your God, spirit, creator, whatever you want to call it. Determine what this means to you, what God means to you, what spirit means to you. With my belief that God is everywhere present always, I am always to find God right where I am. My belief, of course, is that the creative power in the universe is everywhere present. In its entirety, therefore, it is indivisible by time and space and fully present in its nature and power at every point. My point of connection with this infinity is within myself, and only within myself. And I have spiritual practices of affirmative prayer and meditation and some other things to hone this connection. So I strongly encourage you to adopt your own spiritual practices. Find what works for you. And there are millions of kinds of meditation. There's active meditations, there's passive meditations, there's guided meditations. There's a lot. So you can meditate, or you can walk through nature and get quiet and go within yourself. It doesn't matter what your processes are. Find some spiritual practices that work for you and help you connect with something greater than yourself. Whatever you deem that to be. There's a poem by Joanne Kerman I'd like to share with you. It's called Comes the Dawn. Sort of sums up what I've learned. After a while, you learn the subtle difference between holding a hand and chaining a soul. And you learn that love doesn't mean leaning, and company doesn't mean security. And you begin to learn that kisses aren't contracts and presents aren't promises. And you begin to accept your defeats with your head up and your eyes open, with the grace of a divine human being, not the grief of a child. And you learn to build all your roads on today, because tomorrow's ground is too uncertain for plans, and the future has a way of falling down in mid-flight. And while you learn that even sunshine burns if you get too much. So you plant your own garden and decorate your own soul instead of waiting for someone to bring you flowers. And you learn that you really can endure and that you really have worth. And you learn with every goodbye, with every sunset comes the dawn. We can all be joyful. And as I said, gratitude helps with this. And again, we can all experience the delight of existence and true joy. Everything necessary for the boundless experience of joy is within us now. It's a matter of uncovering it and letting it out. It's our job to clear away the debris and the clutter of negative, less than resentful thoughts and beliefs, and allow the inevitable eruption of joy within ourselves. Today is the first day of the rest of our lives. Let this be a transformative new start to live perpetual, unwavering joy and gratitude and love. Why not? Let this be the essence and substance of our lives. It's up to us. Let us begin. And so it is.